it's on.
I got it on the,
You good?
not yet.
There's a little bit of a
there's
delay.
like quite a delay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I thought it was
let me
like
wait till
seconds.
it's on and then. For the millions tuning in at home, get ready.
All right, we're ready.
All right. All right, I'd like to call this meeting of the East Amwell Township Committee to order.
Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee has been provided by a notice sent to the official newspapers of the Township, posted to the Township website, posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, and filed with the Township Clerk as required by law on January 6, 2026. Ms. Casper Bloom?
Here.
Mr. DePiero?
Here.
Ms. Enton?
Here.
Mr. Nardi?
Here.
Mayor Dendis?
Here. Will everyone please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Real quick, before I move on, let me just read quickly why we're here so folks listening at home have an idea and get everybody caught up to speed here. All right, we're here to for second reading of ordinances, but this is for Mountain Road, an update. The DOT has approved and revised plans, specifications for Section 1. Section 2, we expect the approval of the plans and specifications next week. For North Hill, the timing for the ordinance remains on schedule, and the tennis court contract is currently undergoing final adjustments. And for folks that had asked me, we're going to include pickleball striping. Okay. And that is where we are right now. So we are going to open to the public. Anybody? Go ahead.
Sure.
Come on up.
Francis Gavigan, East Elmwell residents. If you could clarify if I'm reading this correctly, it's going to, you got a bid of $263,000, and you're going to be taking just under $60,000, or about 22% from the capital fund to pay for it.
For
You're talking tennis courts, right?
you on
Yeah, the tennis
court?
I
courts.
think so, yeah.
No, that number doesn't sound accurate. We have a
Just
grant.
I'm going by what's in here. It says an additional $59,574 from capital improvement fund.
We're gonna have hearings on the ordinance.
You're reading the 2602, that's section 1.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, well, isn't that sort of where you are?
So-
We're gonna
Tennis
have a
courts
hearing
is
on it.
2602
is road.
5. No, wait.
Road, so the order on this is road, let's see.
Ordinance 2605 is the tennis courts.
Oh, so you're going backwards. Okay, so this is the first reading. No, it's a second reading,
Mm-hmm.
but you're doing it from page 2. I don't know why you're not doing it in the order that it's on the agenda. But,
That's the order on the agenda.
$142,000 from the capital improvement fund and $126 from grant money. So it's probably 55% of the township's money that's going to fund that. Is that an accurate reading of that paragraph?
That would be pretty, yeah, that sounds right to me.
Okay, that's a lot of money for tennis courts that a limited number of the population uses when we're not able to be paying for a rescue squad or things like that, or even the mailboxes that got taken out in the last snowstorm or two. So it seems to be a little free and easy with the money for a small population of people who actually use it. Whereas, is that necessarily the best use of open space money? Just a question. And if anybody's paying attention, ask yourselves. 'Cause all of it, you've got, these add up to, what's the total of how much money you're taking out of open space? From all of these that you're doing? So it's just, it doesn't necessarily sound frugal for, you know, pickleball where you can break your ankle and then be on crutches for 6 months. For a small population, it would have been nice, I think, to talk to the residents to see how they wanted the money that's being held used. That's it for that one.
Right. Anybody else from the public? Can I have a motion to close to the public?
so
So
moved.
moved.
Second. Mike, before we move on, I just wanted to say that a number of residents have expressed happiness that we're going to be fixing up the courts. Unfortunately, before we got here on the Township Committee, the courts weren't maintained for a long time. Every time I walk or go to use the courts myself, there are people playing already or using them. And I love the idea that, and not only have we gotten half of the money from grants so that our taxpayers don't have to have that, but you know, we'll be allowing residents to use the courts for tennis, for basketball, for pickleball. There's definitely a big need, and I think it's really great, such a frugal use of the taxpayer money because we got so much in grants, and you know, no money, you know, is coming from open space, away from open space to do this.
Right.
That's just not the case. And so I'm excited about it. I think the maintenance has been needed for a long time, not just as a safety issue, but because our residents really love Clausen Park, as we do on the Township Committee. And so I'm very happy that we've done so well in queuing this up.
So I totally agree with you. I've heard the exact same thing when I go door to door, talk to people. You have to reinvest in the infrastructure or it doesn't exist. That tennis court is, from the best estimate I'm hearing, is 20, 25, maybe older. It's past its serviceable life. And we were fortunate to get the grant money to make it new again for another, hopefully, quarter century. So I think it's smart money to be spent. Okay.
And can I jump into it?
Of course.
It's also capital money that we already have away, and once money is in the capital fund, you can't take it out and use it for anything but capital improvements.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
It's just nothing coming from an open space fund. All right, so we have a motion to close. We had a first and a second. Do you need to do a roll call or no?
No.
Okay. All right, item number 6, ordinance 2602, second reading adoption. Linda, could you please read by title?
Sorry. Capital ordinance amending ordinance number 2413, providing for various road improvements by and in the Township of East Danwell and the County of Hunter and State of New Jersey to appropriate an additional $59,574, therefore from the Capital Improvement Fund and appropriating $263,211 from awarded grant money to pay for the cost thereof.
All right, by way of explanation, this ordinance is a capital ordinance to authorize road improvements to Mountain Road Section 1. All right, we're moving on.
Open to the public.
All right, this meeting is now open to the public for this ordinance only.
Okay, it's not still Francis Gavigan. I
Yep.
think my voice carries. Which section is section 1? From Lindale Road or from Rileyville Road?
Other way. The Rileyville stretch is section 3. So one is starting down near Rocktown.
Just, okay, because wasn't that done like 10, 15 years ago? It doesn't seem like it was that long ago that Mountain Road was done. So, did somebody not do the greatest job that it's fallen apart?
I would have to ask our DPW that. They're the ones, our engineer recommended it. They're the ones that apply for the grant to do it. And we trust our professionals.
Because that section just below Mountain Road on Runyon Mill is a real mess, with trees leaning and things falling apart, and that doesn't seem to be making a list.
We will be doing section 3 of Mountain Road the following years. We have another grant for the rest of Mountain Road. We are very lucky for the grants we've gotten for these roads, because they cost a lot of money for a small town.
Is Runyon Mill on anybody's list?
We are aware of Runyon Mill having issues as well. There are 3 Rs we are aware of and are gonna work to get grants and do what we can to improve the roads, yes.
Cause I know that one's been raised for like 5 years. Alright, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, so do what you're gonna do.
All right. Is there anyone else from the public? All right, I'd like to close this to the public. Close without objection. All right, D, motion to adopt the ordinance. I need a motion to adopt the ordinance 2602. Motion by, first and a second. Al, and
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mayor Dendis?
Yes. Item number 7, ordinance 26.
Mike, before you go on, I
Go
just
ahead.
want to make a quick comment, which is, I'm very pleased that our professionals have been able to identify roads that need maintenance and work, and even more happy that we're getting $263,000 from a grant and only having to put in $60,000. When you think of the magnitude of that, we're paying for a huge amount of this, way more than we're putting in.
Right.
And so to me, it strikes the right balance of making sure residents have good infrastructure and safety when they're driving, but getting it paid for because of all of our work on getting the grant money. Fiscal issues are so important, so I just wanted to make sure that was clear to everybody watching.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Anybody else have anything on Mountain Road? Okay. Item number 7, ordinance 2603, second reading adoption. Linda, please read by title.
Capital ordinance amending ordinance number 2512, providing for various general capital improvements by and in the Township of East Amwell and the County of Hunterdon, State of New Jersey, appropriating $162,976 from awarded grant money to pay for the cost thereof.
All right, this ordinance is a capital ordinance to authorize road improvements to Mountain Road, Section 2. All right, meeting is now open to the public for this ordinance only. All right, I'll close to the public without objection. I need a motion to adopt ordinance 2603. Motion by
So moved.
Jenna, second. Bev. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mayor Dendis?
Yes. Item number 8, ordinance 2604, second reading and adoption. Linda, please read by title.
An ordinance to amend the code of the Township of East Amwell, County of Hunterdon, State of New Jersey, Chapter 75 fees, specifically Section 75.1, to increase fees for summer playground.
Okay, explanation. This ordinance will authorize an increase in summer playground fee from $150 to $225. Summer playground will be held 1 extra hour per day from 8:30 to 1:30 and will be extended from 4 weeks to 5 weeks with an extra week in June. Open to the public on this ordinance only. All right, closed without objection. Need a motion to adopt ordinance 2604
So moved.
by Al, second by Bev. All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mayor Dendis?
Yes. Number 9, ordinance 2605, second reading adoption. Linda, please read by title.
Capital ordinance providing for remodeling the tennis courts by and in the Township of East Amwell in the County of Hunterdon, State of New Jersey, appropriating $142,000 therefore from the Capital Improvement Fund and appropriating $126,000 from awarded grant money to pay for the cost thereof.
All right, by explanation, this ordinance is a capital ordinance to authorize the improvements to the tennis courts at Clausen Park. Meeting is open to the public for this ordinance only.
I repeat my objection to spending money from the township for something that will be used by a small number of people when there might be other things that it could be used for, like the sidewalks here in Ringo's, so people aren't walking in the highway when it snows or different things like that. I would ask that when you're doing these things that sound like they're great because somebody tells you they're great, that you make an attempt to get a quantitative opinion from residents as to, would you use it, would you not use it? Is it a good use of money? Because I don't see any of that happening other than somebody anecdotally says, oh, this is gonna be fun, I can do it. You know, but there's a lot of people who can't, and taxes are gonna be going up this year, as they do every year. That's it, you're gonna do what you wanna do.
All right. This is closed to the public without objection. I need a motion to adopt ordinance 20, where am I at, 26?
05.
05, I lost track of it. I need a motion to adopt ordinance 2605.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mayor Dendis?
Yeah, yes.
Sorry.
What?
I was gonna say before we go on to number 10 too, I just wanna say thank you and Dante in regards to the tennis courts, because our first estimate was over, what, $400,000?
It was, yeah, that's what about
And
400,000.
you both did work of seeing what other options were available and what companies to work with and stuff, so that also helped us really keep these costs down. So thank you both for doing that as well.
And as the park and rec liaison, I mean, I've had phone calls and emails, you know, asking about pickleball and basketball court. I think the Girl Scouts even inquired about the basketball court, so.
Yep.
It'll be good.
And we actually,
I can't play either, but, you know.
and to add to that, Al, we got, contacted by the state who was saying they were concerned because the cracks were so bad on it that they found a safety concern, right? And, we, state money goes into these things too, sometimes because we have, a park and we get funds for park creation and the like, so for all those reasons. In addition, I just wanna, echo what I said before. For all those reasons, I'm very proud of the township for working on this. I think this is, when residents talk to me, they always say how important Clausen Park is to them, and I agree. It's a fabulous resource. It's right in town. People use it. People use those courts a lot. And, and finally, I know there was a comment from the public saying we're gonna do what we wanna do, but I know this township committee, and we do things because it's gonna help our residents, both for what we're doing for them, how we're addressing the concerns that they raise, and making sure to be fiscally frugal. So I know we're doing this because this matters.
Yeah, I mean, I'll add to that Clausen Park is one of the only recreation areas that the residents have to use, and the tennis courts are past their serviceable life. We did get that notice from, I don't remember which agency, but there was a warning on the condition, and they're past being repaired, so they have to be replaced. And I think when you have almost half the money, and it may end up being half the money depending on how things go, paid for by a grant, it's a smart investment of capital money to reinvest in that park, and I think that's an important piece of piece of land in East Amwell for sure.
And multiple people in the township committee searched and worked very hard to identify those grants to get this money available. And in fact, we put off starting any work on this process or approving it until we got grants, because our view is we want to make sure we fully maximize the financial protection of our residents before we undertake action. So again, I really am pleased how the township committee members all worked on that.
And I think I can also add it to the comment that we don't poll the residents. I talk to residents all the time. I'm out in the public all the time. Everybody knows me. People talk about the tennis courts, and they're asked for it. So when the opportunity came up to get the grants from the county and some fair pricing from some shopping, I think that it's the right decision for 2026. All right, moving on to item number 10, first reading and introduction of ordinance 2606. Linda, could you read by title, please?
An ordinance amending Chapter 43 of the General Legislation of the Township of East Amwell to address the requirements of the Fair Housing Act and the Uniform Housing Affordability Controls regarding compliance with the township's affordable housing obligations. An ordinance amending Article 3 of Chapter 75 of the General Legislation of the Township of East Amwell to address the requirements of the Fair Housing Act and the Uniform Housing Affordability Controls regarding compliance with the township's affordable housing obligations. Is that?
All right, by way of explanation, I'm not even gonna attempt, and I'm gonna let Dante take it over.
Thanks, Mike. So essentially, this is a state mandated ordinance to implement the Round 4 Affordable Housing Plan. So by way of background, as folks know from listening to our meetings, the state requires all municipalities to provide affordable housing and to adopt affordable housing plans and to comply with multiple and various affordable housing laws and requirements. And believe me, there are loads of requirements and loads of laws that apply. Our township has very good affordable housing professionals that we rely upon to ensure that our town complies with the law and the state mandates. And they also work to help us ensure that we're protecting our town from development, because development can be forced upon us if we fail to adopt the plan or to have the plan be sufficient. When that happens, there's something called the builder's remedy, which gives a developer the opportunity to force development in. And development's not what our residents want. It's the increase in taxes that you get from that is not what our residents want. So one of the multiple ways that this township committee has protected the rural character of this community is by making sure that we timely adopt a sufficient housing plan. So here, the state required all municipalities to adopt a Round 4 plan, which had housing element and fair share plan by June of 2025. And folks will recall on June 17th of 2025, we met that obligation when our planning board adopted a Round 4 plan. The state also required all governing bodies to endorse those plans by July 2025. And folks will recall that on July 10th, the Township Committee endorsed that plan. The state now requires that all governing bodies adopt an ordinance implementing the plan and incorporating that plan into our code. So this ordinance that we're introducing today, which was drafted by our professionals to implement and incorporate the Round 4 plan and meet our obligations. You should know that it's lengthy, but essentially it's a generic form that meets all of those state mandates. So that's why it's 37 some odd pages, because it contains, and it must contain, the legal elements that we have to include based on state mandate to have an approved plan. So you'll see mandatory language on a whole host of issues if you go through it, but it's part and parcel of not only our duty to timely adopt an ordinance, but also to meet our obligations. So I know this is just an introduction, but by way of introducing it so folks understand the issues, that's the summary, Mike.
I couldn't have done a better job myself. All right, can I please have a motion to introduce ordinance 2606 with a public hearing date of March 12th, 2026?
So,
Second.
All right, I got Al and I got Bev.
Take that.
All right. Moving on to item number 11, ordinance 2607, first reading and introduction. Linda, please read by title.
Hold on 1 second, I'm getting an error message here. An ordinance amending chapter 92, article 7 of the general legislation of the Township of East Amwell to amend the existing Larison's Corner and Ringo's Village affordable housing overlay zones and adding the AH1 overlay to block 22, lot 1.
So Mike, if I
Okay.
may, I'll
Please.
address this one as well. So this is a companion ordinance that was also required to be adopted as part of our ordinance to implement the plan. So this one relates to the inclusionary overlay zones that we have. We have that as part of our plan. We had that in the previous round plan. We have them now. However, the state is mandating that the density, if a developer comes in and were to do an inclusionary zoning with some market rate units and some set aside for housing, that there be 7 dwelling units per acre and a 20% set aside. That's slightly different than what we had. We had 6 dwelling units per acre of density. But again, this is a mandate of the state. The state's leading municipalities in its obligations. So the final point in adjusting our plan so that it's suitable to meet all of our state obligations and law is to do this slight amendment to the overlay zones. This particular ordinance will do that.
Okay. Can I please have a motion to introduce ordinance number 2607 with a public hearing date of March 12th, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
I got Jenna and I got Dante. They beat you guys. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So no reading, right? All right,
No.
item number 12, the consent agenda. Can I please have a motion to approve resolution 26-53?
Can I talk about it before we do that? I know it's on the consent agenda.
I'd love you to.
So this is in reference to the grant we received for the, 10,000. I think we've discussed a few times, we've had to do this audio I managed. It's, makes it more accessible. It's gonna be mandated on all the websites, so part of the grant covers that. And then the rest of the grant is gonna deal with a better search engine, hopefully for our residents to find things on there. Mark did a good job and got us an extra 6 months on it instead of the standard year. So we've got some time to try it out, but it's, like I said, it's all covered by the grant, and Civic Plus is that's our website people anyway, so,
Okay.
that's all. So moved.
Thank you for all the work you did on this, Mark, Jenna. All right, we have, so Jenna's the first motion. Now we have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right.
Oh, let me do a roll call,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mayor Dendis?
Yes. All right, item 2654, we're gonna table this item. Can I have a motion to table resolution 2026-54 to the March 12th meeting?
So moved.
All right, first, can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, open to the public. This meeting is now open to the public. Go ahead.
Mike, my request would be that we abide by our previous procedures when members of the public speak to continue to have it as their comment period rather than having a dialogue back and forth, because I think
Yes, that's, yeah,
but it blurs the lines between the opportunity to have a comment. Also, other folks can come in later and then try to insist that they want a dialogue rather than the comment period, so.
I agree with you. So go ahead, it's all yours.
Start. Frances Gavigan. I've heard discussions of everybody with the price of insurance and copays, and is it the GOP ones and things like that. And while I have very good insurance, I too got some sticker shock when medications that I need, and there are no alternatives, doubled in price. Something went from way too much to a hell of a lot too much. But it turns out that the people who manufacture it, the Lillies and the BMSs and the others, they have programs that when you have commercial insurance, you can use their copay card and it comes down hundreds of dollars. I watched and videotaped the whole presentation that was put on by the insurance carrier at the Board of Education. And I can put that on the web if I can figure out how to get it out of this thing. And there are things, but what was gonna cost me $450 is now costing me $25 for a 3-month supply. If you have insurance, and the kind of insurance that the school has as opposed to a state-funded one, if they use these tools to get the lower copays, then they take the burden off of the insurance carrier and they're less likely to come back for mega bucks the following years. So there are things that we as individuals can do to save ourselves money. When I first got it, I contacted the doctor, and after they sent me links to these things. They are available. Find out where it is and you go on there. And if you got Medicare, it hasn't stopped me, and other things like that. I think people on Medicaid or some of those welfare kind of things may have less, but the people at the school have a commercial insurance. I think yours is commercial. If your insurance is coming from the state, that might not be, and there's a lot of medicines that are extremely expensive. Mine, the one that was 450 something, was a heart medicine. It wasn't a, oh, I want to be slim. No, it was that, and it's something that is necessary to stay alive. But insurance companies, they don't give a rodent's rump. They just want to get as much out of you or force you into lower coverage kind of things. So if you look around and you shop and you ask your doctors, then you might be able to find things. That's it.
All right, thank you. Anyone else from the public? Seeing no one else from the public, I'd like to close this meeting to the public without objection. Thank you, by the way, for sharing that. The township's taken considerable steps in the last 3 years to reduce insurance costs by switching to a, I'm not gonna, it wouldn't be proper to call it a private plan, right? We went from state health benefits to,
It's cooperative.
cooperative.
It is private, but it's based with all the smaller municipalities around New
Right.
Jersey.
and we're obviously still working with them, trying to figure out ways to save money and what that looks like. That is some, I don't know what the school has to say if that's something that could,
They
you know.
don't have the state plan. I'll put it up there and I'll send you the link that the doctor sent me, at least for some of my meds to you, Linda.
Okay.
So we'll continue to look at that and, you know, but I appreciate the information, because insurance is probably, we all know this is one of the biggest problems the municipalities and schools are facing across the, at least this state anyway. I don't know about outside of New Jersey, but all you gotta do is look at any, I don't wanna call the newspaper, because that doesn't exist, but anywhere you get your news from, it's a big problem all around us. I don't, you know, unfortunately, my responsibility is only to worry about East Amwell right now, and I think that we're in a relatively strong position, at least compared to some of the school districts that I'm aware of. I don't know about East Amwell School District, but the Flemington school districts are in a little bit of financial strain because of it. All right. Anybody else have anything? All right. Adjournment. Being there's no further business, I need a motion to adjourn.
Excuse me, so moved.
All right. Seconded
Second.
and carried unanimously to adjourn the meeting at which time you going by?
7:30?
I have 7:31. That has.
Dante?
I'm trusting the iPhone clock.
Got the top.
It's 7:32 in 1 second.